Germany, the land of castles, beer halls, and engineering precision, a nation that has shaped European history for over 2,000 years. But who are the Germans? Where did they truly come from? For decades, people assumed German was a single, unified ethnicity. Your family came from Bavaria, Saxony, or Prussia, but you were all German, right? Then came DNA testing. German Americans took 23 and me and Ancestry DNA, expecting to see 100% German. Instead, they got results that made no sense. 45% Germanic Europe, 20% French, 15% Eastern European, 10% Scandinavian, 5% English. How am I 20% French when my family has been in Bavaria for 500 years? In 2020, scientists published one of the most comprehensive genetic studies of Central European populations ever conducted. After analyzing thousands of ancient and modern genomes, they discovered something extraordinary. Germany isn't one population, it never has been. The people who call themselves German today are a mixture of ancient Celts, Roman colonists, Germanic tribal migrants, Slavic populations, and Scandinavian Vikings, all layered on top of each other across 2,000 years of invasions, migrations, and conquests. Modern Germany exists at the crossroads of Europe, and German DNA tells the story of every population that passed through. Today, we're going to decode German DNA and reveal why Germanic Europe on your DNA test is more complicated than you ever imagined. Chapter 1. The Celtic Foundation. To understand German DNA, we need to go back 2,500 years, to a time before Germany existed, a time when the lands of modern Germany were dominated by an entirely different people, the Celts, the Celtic tribes of Germany. Around 500 BCE, most of what we now call Germany was Celtic territory. The Hallstatt and Latin cultures, advanced Celtic civilizations, controlled southern and western Germany. According to research from the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology, ancient DNA from Iron Age Central Europe shows that Celtic populations dominated the region from the Alps to the Rhine River. These weren't the Celts we think of from Ireland or Scotland. These were continental Celts, the same people who would later sack Rome in 390 BCE and spread across Europe from Spain to Turkey. The Romans called these regions Gallia and Noricum. Modern Bavaria, Baden-Württemberg, and Rhineland were Celtic heartlands. The Genetic Legacy, a 2018 study in Nature Communications, analysed Bronze Age and Iron Age genomes from Germany and found substantial genetic continuity from Celtic populations into medieval and modern southern German populations. This is why modern Germans, especially from Bavaria, Swabia, and Baden, carry significant French ancestry on DNA tests. It's not French, it's ancient Celtic DNA that predates the existence of both France and Germany. The Y chromosome haplogroup R1b, which dominates Western Europe, is found in 40 to 50% of German men. This is the Celtic marker, the same haplogroup found in Irish, French, and Spanish populations. Southern Germany's genetic foundation is Celtic. The Germanic tribes came later. The Roman conquest. In 58 BCE, Julius Caesar conquered Gaul, which included parts of Western Germany. The Romans pushed east to the Rhine River and established the border of the empire. For 400 years, 1st to 5th centuries CE, the Rhineland was Roman territory. Cities like Cologne, Colonia, Mainz, Mogontiacum, and Trier, Augusta Treverorum, were Roman colonial cities with populations from across the empire. A 2016 study in PLOS1 analysing ancient Roman-era DNA from Germany found diverse ancestry, including Mediterranean, Middle Eastern, and North African genetic signatures in Rhineland populations. This Roman genetic contribution is why some Germans show small percentages of Italian or broadly Mediterranean ancestry. It's not recent migration, it's 1,500-year-old Roman colonization. But north and east of the Rhine, beyond Rome's border, lived the Germanic tribes, and they were about to change everything. The Germanic migrations. The word German comes from the Latin Germani, what the Romans called the tribal peoples living beyond the Rhine and Danube rivers. Germanic wasn't one tribe. It was dozens of distinct tribal groups, each with their own language, culture, and genetic origins. The Germanic tribal world. By 100 CE, the Germanic peoples were divided into major tribal confederations: the Saxons, northern Germany and Denmark, the Franks, Rhineland, the Alemanni, southwestern Germany, the Bavarians, southern Germany, the Thuringians, central Germany, the Goths, originally from Scandinavia, migrated to Eastern Europe. These tribes spoke related but distinct Germanic languages. They were not unified. They often fought each other as much as they fought Rome. A 2018 study in Science Advances analysed 41 ancient Germanic genomes and found significant genetic diversity among Germanic tribal groups, with northern groups showing Scandinavian affinities and southern groups showing mixed Celtic Germanic ancestry. The Great Migrations, 300 to 600 CE. Between 300 to 600 CE, the Germanic tribes began massive migrations across Europe, what historians call the migration period or Völkerwanderung. The Goths moved south into the Roman Empire, the Vandals migrated to North Africa, the Franks conquered Gaul and created what would become France, the Saxons invaded Britain and became the Anglo-Saxons. Some Germanic tribes migrated into modern Germany from Scandinavia and Eastern Europe. The Bavarians, Bavaria, appeared in southern Germany around 500 CE, likely migrating from Bohemia, modern Czech Republic. A 2018 Nature study found Bavarian populations show genetic continuity with both Celtic substrate populations and incoming Germanic migrants. This mixing, Germanic tribes settling in lands previously held by Celts, created the genetic foundation of modern southern Germany, the Frankish unification. In 800 CE, Charlemagne, king of the Franks, was crowned Holy Roman Emperor. His empire united most of Western Germany under Frankish rule. The Franks were originally a Germanic tribe from the Rhineland, but by Charlemagne's time, they had mixed extensively with Celtic Gauls and Roman populations in France. When the Frankish Empire divided in 843 CE, Treaty of Verdun, the eastern portion became the Kingdom of Germany, the first political entity called Germany. But genetically, it was a mixture of Celts, Romans, Franks, Saxons, Bavarians, and other Germanic tribes. There was no single German population. Chapter 3, the Slavic migrations. While Western Germany was being shaped by Celtic and Germanic populations, Eastern Germany was experiencing a completely different transformation, the Slavic expansion. Between 500 to 700 CE, Slavic peoples from Eastern Europe began migrating westward into what is now Eastern Germany. They moved into lands that had been abandoned during the Germanic migrations. Modern Eastern Germany, from Berlin to Dresden, was Slavic territory for over 500 years. A 2016 study in the European Journal of Human Genetics found Eastern German populations show 10 to 30% Slavic ancestry, with highest frequencies in areas historically under Slavic control. Place names reveal this history. Berlin, from Slavic Berl, meaning swamp, Dresden, from Slavic Drezjani, Leipzig, from Slavic Leipzig, meaning linden trees, the German eastward expansion. In the 12th to 14th centuries, German kingdoms began the Ostsiedlung, the eastward settlement. German colonists moved into Slavic lands, founding new towns and cities. But this wasn't pure population replacement. Germans and Slavs intermarried extensively. A 2019 study in the American Journal of Human Genetics found medieval Eastern German populations show mixed Germanic Slavic ancestry, indicating extensive intermarriage. This is why Eastern Germans and Germans with ancestry from Prussia, Pomerania, and Silesia often show Eastern European or Baltic ancestry on DNA tests. It's not Polish or Russian admixture from the 20th century. It's medieval Slavic ancestry from 1,000 years ago. Prussian genetics. Prussia, the military kingdom that would eventually unify Germany in 1871, was originally a mix of Germanic, Slavic, and Baltic populations. The original Prussians were a Baltic tribe, related to Lithuanians and Latvians. German crusaders conquered them in the 13th century, and German settlers mixed with the local population. Modern Germans with Prussian ancestry often show a unique genetic signature: Northwestern Germanic plus Slavic plus Baltic. This is why German DNA is so geographically diverse. Chapter 4. Modern German DNA. So 2,000 years of migrations created modern German genetics. But what does German DNA actually look like today? The German genetic landscape. A 2019 study published in Nature analysed 2,457 German genomes and found remarkable regional diversity. Southern Germany, Bavaria, Baden-Württemberg, Swabia, 50 to 60% Central European/Germanic, 30 to 40% Western European/Celtic, shows us French on tests, 5 to 10% broadly Mediterranean, Roman legacy, dominant Y DNA, R1b 50%, I1 15%, R1a 10%, Western Germany, Rhineland, North Rhine-Westphalia, 20 to 30% Western European/Celtic, 5 to 10% French/Belgian overlap, dominant, Y-DNA, R1b 45%, I1 20%, 15 to 25% Eastern European/Slavic, higher R1, frequency 15 to 20%, the Slavic marker. The study concluded German populations show significant genetic substructure correlating with historical regional differences and varying degrees of Celtic, Slavic, and Scandinavian admixture. Translation: there is no single German genetic profile. A Bavarian and a Prussian are as genetically different as an Italian and a Pole. Why DNA tests are confusing. When you take a DNA test and it says 45% Germanic Europe, 25% France, 15% Eastern Europe, 10% Scandinavia, it's not wrong. It's accurately reflecting that. France equals your ancient Celtic ancestry from southern Germany. Eastern Europe equals your medieval Slavic ancestry from eastern Germany. Scandinavia equals Viking or Saxon migrations from the north. Germanic Europe equals the core Germanic tribal ancestry. DNA tests struggle with Germany because Germany sits at the crossroads of Europe. Every migration, path passed through it. Chapter 5. What it means to be German. After examining 2,000 years of genetic history, what have we learned about German identity? The DNA evidence is clear. Modern Germans are descended from multiple ancient populations: Celts, Romans, Germanic tribes, Slavs, and Scandinavians. There is no pure German genetics. There never has been. But here's what's remarkable. Despite this genetic diversity, German cultural identity is incredibly strong. The power of cultural identity. The Holy Roman Empire, 962 to 1806 CE, created a shared German-speaking cultural sphere long before Germany became a nation in 1871. Language, not genetics, defined German identity. When Otto von Bismarck unified Germany in 1871, he united Bavaria, Prussia, Saxony, and dozens of smaller states, each with distinct regional genetics, into one nation. German Americans who immigrated to the United States in the 1800s came from all these different regions. Some were Catholic Bavarians with Celtic Germanic genetics. Some were Protestant Prussians with Germanic Slavic genetics. Or some were Rhinelanders with Roman Celtic Frankish genetics. But in America, they all became simply German. The genetic secrets of Germany remind us that ethnicity is layered, complex, and rooted in thousands of years of human movement and mixing. Every German carries genes from Celtic farmers who settled the Rhine Valley 2,500 years ago, from Roman legionnaires who guarded the frontier, from Germanic warriors who migrated from Scandinavia, and from Slavic settlers who moved into eastern lands. When your DNA test says you're only 45% Germanic Europe, it's not saying you're not German. It's saying that German identity was built by many populations, not one. Bavaria preserves its Celtic heritage in language and culture. Prussia preserved its Baltic and Slavic influences. The Rhineland preserves its Roman past. Regional diversity isn't a weakness, it's Germany's strength. DNA tells us where we came from, but culture tells us who we are. And German culture, forged from Celtic, Roman, Germanic, and Slavic roots, created one of Europe's most enduring civilizations.